Now, let us come to the practicalities. You know, there are people who are quite smart. And if we are not smart enough in anything which has to do with political interpretations with religious understanding, when we speak about killing, when we speak about war, we speak about the principles that I mentioned here, that there are the limits, and we know that there is something in Islam which is legitimate resistance. Not only it's legitimate, but it's necessary, because if we are not resisting, the world and the earth is going to be corrupt. And people are going to destroy it. We need this. We need to stand up in the name of justice. We know that. We know that we stand up in the name of justice, and you know the discussion that we had indirectly with Imam Zaid Shakir yesterday about the means and the ends. By the way, I completely agree with what he said now, which was just clarifying what he said yesterday. We agree on that. But it's quite important to be very cautious here. Justice is a means towards peace. Justice is not an end per se. Be careful. Don't worship justice. Use it as a means, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is putting it in the Quran. Inna Allah ya'muru bil-'adl wal-ihsan. Ihsan is something which is beyond. This capacity to go beyond justice and to say, in the name of God, I can forgive you. In the name of God, I can forget that. In the name of God, I can go beyond this. But there are principles. You don't come to steal my bicycle and then you come to me and say, al-ihsan is to forgive me. No, you give me back the bicycle and then I forgive you. No, it's just an example talking about Palestine. Because some people are pushing the Palestinians today, it's just forgive them. So give back the lands and then we'll talk. No. No. Think about it. Think about it. It's not time to clap. It's a time to think about our resistance in this. So this is al-ihsan. Ihsan is not to compromise. Ihsan is to be able to forgive beyond justice, but also to be clear on the principles. Now, let me come to the practicalities. You know, Sharon, just after September 11, he said something which was important for all of us, because we have to be clear on this. He said, oh, now you know what it means to deal with terrorists. And we have our terrorists. Our terrorist is Yasser Arafat. He was putting at the same level, listen to this. If you only come with religious principles, you are going to be lost in this discussion. You need the religious principles and the political understanding. He's putting at the same level people killing innocent Americans in the streets of New York and Palestinians resisting oppression in Palestine. He said, these are the same people. And you know what I heard? Many Muslims are buying this. I said, oh no, we are not going to. It's not the same. Resisting oppression is not the same as killing innocent people. So we would say killing innocent people is wrong. And I would even say in Palestine, the legitimate resistance to face the weapon or the armed oppression is to resist the armed oppression. Even though, and I said it from the very beginning, before even September the 11th, I think it's wrong to kill innocent people in Tel Aviv. I think it's wrong. I think that we have to be clear on the fact that the resistance should be the resistance to the oppressors. I think an innocent is an innocent. So, get me right. The Palestinian resistance is completely legitimate, but we may disagree on the means. Now, if someone is telling me it's the weapon of the poor people, I understand this, because this was in history. In the West, we have done this. During the Second World War, it happened. So you can't just forget, and this is why we need to learn about history, is that how Europe has been protected during the Second World War by terrorist attacks in France, in Germany, in Britain, because the people were resisting. That's fine. These were strategies. I'm talking about the principles. The principles is you don't target civilians and you don't target innocent people. But the resistance is legitimate, and we cannot put the things, the two attitudes at the same level. So as much as we can say it's completely wrong and it's anti-Islamic to kill in Casablanca, in Bali, in Amman, in Indonesia, or in Madrid, or in London, this is wrong. We need now to contextualize when it comes to legitimate resistance, to say what is permissible. In Islam, it's legitimate to resist when the people are oppressing you. And you have to say this. You know, many people, when I was banned from the States, I have to tell you the truth, by the way. Many people forgot me when I was banned. Just to be close to Tariq Ramadan was not the right time to be close to him. But when I came back to the States, I said, MashaAllah, Tariq, yeah. Okay, the people who are courageous afterward, when it's over. But what I was saying, it was clear in the embassy, in the American embassy in Switzerland. I know and I knew why I was banned. Not because I was supporting a terrorist Palestinian group. No. Because 80% of the questions that I got in the American embassy were on my positions in Iraq and Palestine, saying, I may disagree with the means, but their resistance is legitimate because what you are doing is wrong. And every country, even, no, don't clap here and be silent outside. So be silent here and be vocal outside. Okay? This very easy way to be courageous in this hall, it's too easy for me. We will change Canada and the public opinion if we are able to be vocal, peacefully, clearly, outside. Not to clap among ourselves. So here, it's important. To get this is to be able to say, no, I'm not going to accept what you are doing. Your war in Iraq is a mistake. It's illegal. You are killing innocent people. And you know what I got? People coming to me during the last months and say, you are a Muslim intellectual. What do you think of the Christians being killed in Iraq? And say, what's that? What are you talking about? You are forgetting millions of Muslims, and when you have Christians, you count the Christians? So let me tell you something. I condemn the killing of Christians, and I condemn the killing of Muslims and every single human being, whatever is his or her religion. Say the same. We want you to come to this understanding. So please, don't come with this understanding of Islam where we are not involved in the discussion. Question the questions that are put to you in a consistent way, with courage, with consistency and courage. This is the added value of Muslim citizens, Muslim Canadian citizens, and Muslim American citizens. So now, when it comes to this, to be able to say not the same. You know, in the last book, The Quest for Meaning, many Muslims came to me and say, oh, it's not completely about Islam. It's all about Islam, but talking about other traditions and talking about history. I'm advocating in the book that we need to reconcile ourselves with 4 disciplines. The first one is history and memory. The second one is a better knowledge of religions, not only ours, but all the religions and spiritualities. The third one is to get a better knowledge of philosophy and the questions, and then also of arts and anything which has to do with imagination. But with history, it's something which is important. Why? Because we don't study. Remember, I heard some Muslims, they are completely colonized with this idealized, romanticized image of Gandhi. Gandhi was, by the way, very clear on some of the issues. He liked Hussein, radiallahu anhu, the grandson of the Prophet, saying he went as a non-violent, resisting with his whole family, saying, I'm not going to give up in the name of justice. So he was courageous. Non-violence is not to be coward. It's to be courageous. It's to go and to say, I'm ready. You want to kill me? Come. Come and kill me if you are ready. I remember this, that my mother was crying once. You know all these people who now say, don't say that you had the grandson of Hassan al-Banna, radiallahu anhu, rahimahullah. Don't say this because, you know, the Muslim Brotherhood is something that, what is this? What are you talking about? Maybe the people have to read more about this. 90% of what he wrote is in Arabic and the people are not reading. He's the one that I got from my father and my mother saying, سَنُقَاتِلُ النَّاسَ بِالْحُبِّ. We are going to fight with love, because love is our weapon, our mind and our love. And once, at that time in the 40s, you were able to get a weapon when you are a leading of an organization. And my mother heard her mother telling my grandfather, they are going to kill you. So she was 15 years old. She went and she tried to get the weapon to give him to protect himself. I said, no, I don't want it. Leave this weapon. Because if I'm not going to use it, they want to kill me, they will kill me. Because al-qatil wal-maqtul fi an-nar. This is the hadith. If you're going to resist, you are going to go, it's over. He didn't want to use this. And once she heard from a Christian with whom I wrote a book. And the Christian was in Africa. And he was attacked by people. And he said, my family, my wife and my kid, I'm going to protect them. He went and he took the weapon. If they come, I'm going to kill, because it's legitimate resistance. And then he said, no, I can't do that. So he went and he put the weapon and said, if they come, it's okay. I'm going to be killed. So you have strategies. Both are right. There is legitimate resistance and there is something which is, okay, come, I'm ready. So this is exactly what I got in my family. And she started crying when she heard this. This is exactly what I heard from my father. That sometime in the strategy, you are more powerful if you are ready not to resist with violence and to leave the one who is using violence with his or her violence. So these are strategies, and sometimes you have to deal with that. So as we are dealing with this, and we have to understand history. Gandhi was saying, resisting oppression and resisting injustice within the society, he was saying, we need to change the name of the people, and the Dalit, the Pariah, the untouchable, are going to be called Harijan, children of God. Ahmed Khan, who was a jurist, said, no, I don't agree with your strategy. You go for non-violence, I'm going to resistance. These people are oppressed, and in the name of their oppression, they should resist. And then they have two strategies, and we have to deal with this. Why? Because from an Islamic viewpoint, the two are right. That you have to give positive message to the people, say, okay, be ready to sacrifice yourself, and sometimes you don't have another option but to resist with your weapon and say, we are oppressed, we are going to stand up. So you now, in Canada, you need to find your strategy here to be able to be citizens standing up for justice. Your strategy should be for here. You can't decide the strategies of the Palestinians and the Iraqi people. You can say we don't agree with the means, but you have to acknowledge the fact that it's legitimate for them to resist. And you have to say it. We are supporting the resistance even though we don't accept the means that they are using. But every single human being, every single Muslim should find her or his strategy here, now. How are you going to do this? Always based on the principles. Always there, so the same principles in a specific context can have different strategies. So this is what we heard, and this is the story. I'm just studying the story in the book, just to show to all of us that we are sharing principles.